How did you realize your parents were toxic? My parents sent me a bill for my childhood. Not kidding. An actual itemized invoice arrived 2 weeks after I got engaged. It was timed perfectly right when wedding planning had started, and we'd be thinking about money. The envelope looked official, like a legal document with our home address as letterhead and a faux company logo. Inside was a 3-page spreadsheet breaking down 22 years of expenses. $15,000 for premium organic baby food, $8,500 for private piano lessons, $12,000 for competitive dance classes. They calculated interest on everything. Orthodontic work from when I was 14, $6,800 with 4% interest compounded over 8 years, which they claimed totaled $9,200. My high school prom dress, $400 becomes $520 with inflation adjustment. The grand total was a $127,439.83. At the bottom, in my mother's handwriting, we invested in your success. Time to pay it forward. Payment plans available. I thought it was a joke until my dad called that evening asking if I'd reviewed the documentation. He explained that since I was getting married and starting my own family, it was time to settle accounts with them. They'd kept meticulous records, he said, because they always knew this day would come. My fiancé was speechless when I showed him the invoice. His parents had sent us a congratulations card with a $500 check. Mine sent me a bill that would cover a house down payment. But here's the kicker. They'd only included expenses for things that made them look good to other parents. Dance classes and piano lessons were on there, but not basic necessities. No grocery bills, no school supplies, no clothes, just the premium stuff they could brag about at parent events. I called my mom to confirm this was real. She said, "Honey, raising a child is expensive. We sacrificed a lot for your opportunities. Now that you're successful in getting married, we thought you'd want to help us recoup some of our investment. Return on investment." She called raising me a business venture that should generate profits. I asked if my younger brother got a similar invoice when he got married last year. Long pause. Well, his situation was different. He's not as financially stable as you are, and his wife's family paid for most of their wedding. Translation, I had a better job, so I owed them more money. They'd calculated their parental love based on our earning potential and sent bills accordingly. The wedding was 6 months away. Every conversation became about when I'd start making payments. They suggested I could use my wedding gift money from relatives, or maybe take out a small loan. Think of it as paying back your student loans, my dad said, except these are parent loans with better interest rates. I showed the invoice to my therapist. She'd never seen anything like it in 20 years of practice. She called it financial abuse, a new level of manipulation, and told me to document everything for future boundaries. At my wedding, my parents gave a speech about how proud they were of their investment finally paying off. They literally described raising me as an investment paying dividends in front of 150 guests. My mother-in-law looked horrified. Several relatives started whispering. During the reception, my dad cornered my new husband and suggested we could work out a payment plan as our wedding gift to them. He had the audacity to pull out a calculator app and start running numbers. If you pay $500 a month, you'll have it knocked out in about 20 years, he said, completely serious. My husband's family couldn't believe what they were witnessing. His parents had given us money. His siblings had bought gifts from our registry. His grandparents had written heartfelt cards with cash inside. My parents brought a contract and a payment schedule. The final straw came when they cornered my wedding photographer and demanded copies of all the pictures, despite not having paid the photographer a dime, arguing that since they'd invested in my childhood, they were entitled to the day's photos. The photographer refused, but the audacity alone had half the guests staring. I never paid the invoice. I framed it instead as a reminder that some people view love as a transaction and children as business ventures. My parents still bring it up every Christmas, asking about my outstanding balance. Last year, they handed me an envelope at dinner labeled late fees and said, "We're adding 2% holiday interest." Nobody laughed but them. Some parents give their kids roots and wings. Mine gave me a bill and called it